MG sends out Shadow Machamp. Shadow Machamp going to be farming up. The opponent tries to make the snipe. Sniping with the superpower. MG like, nah. It simply is not happening. We catch the superpower onto Ninetales. Back out comes Machamp. Machamp over farms. Fires off the cross chop. Cross chop will be removing Malamar from the field of play. Back out comes Dugong. Cross chop simply won't get the job done, but Machamp reaches the Stone Edge on the charge attack priority, and that's going to be all she wrote. Welcome back to the channel. I have taken a few days off. We're refreshed, we're revitalized, and we are back at it. If you did see my community post, we've had to take a little step back. I've got family commitments, I've got a full-time job, and content creators my size, let's be honest, pretty much do this for free for your entertainment purposes only. Entertainment is the name of the game, and entertainment is what we're bringing today. Huge shout out to one of my channel regulars, MG. He's showcasing a very powerful triple shadow team that's got a buff or two, or more precisely 5 buffs from the season 20 move update. As with all shadow teams, they're going to be around for a good time, not a long time. They take 20% more damage and dish out 20% more. I think MG might have just cracked the cheat code. I believe this might just be the most destructive shadow team you can possibly run in the current meta. Why is my opinion important? Well, for what it's worth, I was the first documented trainer in the world to reach legend only using shadow Pokemon. I was then able to do it 6 consecutive seasons, so I think I might know a thing or two about using shadow Pokemon. You might be asking yourself, why am I showcased in rank 15 battles? Of course we're going to look good at rank 15. Well, these were sent to me in the first week of the season. Everyone was that rank. I'm only getting around to showcasing them now. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, MG leads the buffed Fire Spin variant of Shadow Ninetales into Charizard. A fantastic lead. The opponent save switches into Wall Rain, and clearly this opponent disrespecting fire like a lot of trainers do. The opponent throws the Icicle Sphere, we tank the damage, pivot out into Machamp. Machamp can overfarm by 1, fire off the cross chop on the charge attack priority, and this will be removing the Walrus from the field of play. Shadow Machamp using the buffed Legacy Karate Chop has lightning fast pacing. MG overfarms, fires off the Stone Edge on the charge attack priority. If this goes unshielded, the opponent's going to get one-shot vanquished back to their Pokeball, get that Charger Bug off my screen, and out comes a 2-shielded Typhlosion, but Machamp still not done, fires off the cross chop, forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. MG has all the advantage in this battle, a 2-to-1 shield advantage and a 2v1 scenario, but Typhlosion very scary and very hard hitting. We're going to shield up what's inevitably the Thunder Punch bait. Thunder Punch would hit for neutral, but Blast Burn would do more. We're going to fire off 1 Fire Spin and the Weather Ball. Weather Ball forces the final protection. We see the pivot into Cacturne. Cacturne not appreciating the Incinerate damage, but able to Sucker Punch farm down and emerge victorious. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see Ninetales into Pangoro. The opponent fires off a few Karate Chops and then save switch into Clodsire. MG buddy, how do we deal with Clodsire? It doesn't look like we've packed the counter. He's going to save switch into Cacturne, shield up the Stone Edge. Cacturne not appreciative of these poison stings, although in complete fairness, Cacturne, an insanely glassy Pokemon, doesn't really appreciate any sort of fast move regardless of its typing effectiveness. The opponent matches Protect Shields. MG happy to go all in on Cacturne. Is it possible to Sucker Punch farm down? Who was worried about Clodsire? Cacturne says not me, able to win switch. However, down a Protect Shield. We do have a Dynamic Punch good to go, so if Pangoro should return, they certainly need to respect the damage. Speaking of which, so does Abomasnow. The opponent shows little respect. Abomasnow gets one-shot vanquished back to its Pokeball from absolute full health. The opponent putting all their hopes and dreams on Pangoro. If the opponent manages their energy well, I think it's curtains for us. The opponent overfarms. This should be a close combat as Night Slash won't get the job done. Can we Karate Chop farm down in 3? I simply don't think that's possible. The opponent reaches 1 further close combat. We landed a big boom. The opponent lands 2 big booms and the game ends in a heartbreaking loss. Oh boy, I've got a feeling today I will be losing my voice. In the next battle, we see Azumarill in the lead. We see the save switch into Shadow Machamp, and our Machamp save switch is answered with the Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death. MG farms up to the Stone Edge bait with the cross chop. The opponent petrified, put up that Protect Shield. MG happy to match shields, knowing he's going to win the 1 shield or force the opponent all shields down. We shield up the Flame Charge. MG then fires off 4 Karate Chops and the Stone Edge. Perfect game mechanics, meaning that Incinerate will not register. The opponent goes all in their Firebird of Death, but unfortunately we don't really have a great way of tanking this energy. This can only be a boosted fly, so we will be able to survive one, although it will hurt. MG shows huge cojones, calling the bait. The opponent just looking to go straight vamp up, and Ninetales able to withstand the damage. Reach the Weatherball Fire. Weatherball Fire won't be lethal, but should put it in a range where we can Sucker Punch farm down before the Incinerate registers. For that to happen, we need 2 Sucker Punches to knock out. That's certainly 2 Sucker Punch range. Out comes Cacturne. Unfortunately, we only get off 1 Sucker Punch. 2 would have been better, but it is what it is. The opponent sends back out Azumarill. Trainer, what's lurking in the back? MG going straight for the Trailblaze. Trailblaze won't one-shot, but my god, does it do some damage. It certainly puts them in a range where we can resist its Sucker Punch farm down. MG shields up the Ice Beam. The opponent recognising they're going to get farmed down. Send out Venusaur. Trainer, you've made a huge mistake. They should have sent out Venusaur first. They did not. Dynamic Punch is resisted, but picks up that 1-hit KO. We're going to Sucker Punch farm down Azumarill and take that game. Heading into the next battle, we're going to lead Kanto Ninetales into Clodsire. Not a good matchup by any means. We do have Scorching Sands for coverage. This opponent also running Mudshot. Last season we was able to survive a Stone Edge, but Mudshot now does do more damage. MG has faith. We're able to survive the Stone Edge, reach the Scorching Sands. Oh my god, that was very, very dicey, but again, what a great call. We land the Scorching Sands. We then send out Cacturne. Cacturne looking for that Sucker Punch farm down, which we're unable to get. So stay in school, kids, and learn to count. We catch the Stone Edge onto Machamp, where it is resisted damage. Machamp able to Karate Chop farm down and get a very nice running start. Out comes Feraligatr. You see MG fires off 5 Karate Chops, trying to force a charge attack priority. The opponent smartly take the extra, although hold that fort. The opponent lose track of energy, end up playing to the CMP tie. They do not win regardless. Machamp gets Gator insanely low, and MG going to go all in on Cacturne, looking to sweep the back line. Hydro Cannon secures the knockout. The opponent not wanting to get farmed down. Send out Gastrodon. Oh boy, Trainer, hit that top left button. This game is signed, sealed, and delivered. There's only really 2 win cons left for the opponent. MG having a heart attack, which I'm very grateful to tell you he did not have. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone, especially not a friend of the channel. Or the game crashing. The game crashing is a pretty reasonable win con, to be honest, as Niantic servers are essentially run off a potato, but MG doesn't lag out and he is able to emerge victorious. In the next battle, we get a dominating lead. Chesnaught, a very interesting Pokemon, something that I think is very good anti-meta. I seen Henry upload yesterday, and I also hit veteran rank with a completely different team, and I've sent the battles over to King GBL. So if you want to see the team I used, head over to his channel, as he will be shoutcasting it in the coming days. We see the Clodsire Say Switch, not fantastic by any means. You can see we're getting torn apart by these poison stings. MG looking to play out the 2 shield. I guess we really just hope the opponent let this go, as I don't think we're going to reach a 3rd Trailblaze, and we are going to get Poison Stung farm down. The opponent goes all in on Clodsire. We send back out Ninetales. Ninetales again is going to get outpaced, but have faith. MG has a plan and is again going to catch the Stone Edge onto Machamp, where it is resisted. Back out comes Chesnaught. Machamp going to fire off the Cross Chop. Cross Chop won't be lethal, but is going to hit hard as Machamp hits like a truck. Machamp rocks Chesnaught down to round of 3rd health. The opponent going to fire off the Frenzy Plant, removing us from the field of play. I guess we just got to try and Fire Spin farm down. Hope we can beat whatever's in the back. Ninetales gets a massive farm down. Clodsire is available as a potential sack swap. Out comes Drapion. We had the Scorching Sands, but opt not to throw it. But we will survive an Aqua Tail. The opponent goes for the catch. MG pauses, looking to see what's on his screen. Weatherball Fire. We'll be picking up the knockout. Back out comes Drapion again. We fire off 1 Fire Spin. MG knowing we're going to be able to tank 2 further Poison Stings, maximises Fire Spin damage, and Ninetales sweeps the back line. GG's, very well played game. In the next battle, we see Ninetales into Malamar. It's going to take Malamar 12 Psywaves to the first foul play. So they're going to reach it at the same time as our Weatherball Fire. Both trainers overfarm, but the opponent still ends up throwing at really poor time, and they throw the Superpower, then switch out into Clodsire. It would have been really nice to fire off the Scorching Sands here, but Weatherball Fire still does some reasonable chip damage before we see the pivot into Cacturne. We're only 9 minutes in, but we're seeing this battle play out time and time again as Clodsire, PvPoke's number 1 and 2 ranked pick, is here, there and everywhere. The opponent is on Stone Edge, which means they are going to play slightly slower as opposed to the Sludge Bomb moveset. MG goes for the undercharge, anticipating the opponent no shielding. The opponent actually invests that Protect Shield. Again, we're going to see MG more than happy to go 2 shields down, leaving minimal farm and with a hard hitting charge move to go. Out comes Dugong. Does the opponent respect the damage? Dynamic punch! Boo, go shield and then send out Machamp. The opponent goes for the snipe, looking to snipe with the superpower. MG like, nah, that simply is not happening. We catch the superpower onto Ninetales. Machamp comes back out. MG over farms, fires off the cross chop, which will be removing Malamar from the field of play when Dugong does return. They won't be in cross chop range, but the over farm is going to enable us to reach the Stone Edge on the CMP tie, and that's going to be all she wrote. Very, very well played game. GG's. MG has clearly been to school, displaying great knowledge of the count, able to catch time and time again. In the next battle, we see Primarina in the lead. My heart sunk there for a minute, because if they're on Waterfall, I think this thing would clap the entirety of our team. Thankfully, this opponent, an absolute degenerate, running tap-tap charm. We fire off the Scorching Sand, forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. MG, double weak to charm in the back, puts up the quickest Protect Shield of his GBL career. I cannot blame him either, as our backline would get deleted by any charmer. MG then overfarms, fires off the Weather Ball. Weather Ball is resistive. It does pick up the knocker. Out comes Bastion. We commit to the Scorching Sands, which we're unable to get. We've got a very hard check in the form of our Shadow Machamp. The opponent sends out Decidueye. We respond with Cacturne, and they concede the match. In the next battle, we see a dreadful lead. We're going to see the instant pivot into Machamp. The opponent opts to stay in, looking for some chip and dip action. So MG takes the initiative, strikes first with the cross chop. Cross chop goes unshielded. Kanto Marowak is very, very bulky. However, what Marowak isn't good at is having a high attack stats. The opponent ends up playing to the CMP tie. They do not win. Sorry, Henry, I steal that line far too often. We're able to force ourselves shield advantage here, which is best case scenario. And hopefully with a Mud Slapper in the lead. They're weak to fire in the back. MG now sends out Cacturne. The opponent looks to chip with a Bone Club. Bone Club is resisted, but would still probably do around half a health. Out comes Talonflame, and we are in so much trouble. We see the pivot back into Ninetales. Tough decision to make. MG gonna call the opponent. Is gonna throw the Fly or Brave Bird. Oh, and we get baited. Oh man. I think this game's over. We fire off the Weather Ball Fire, forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. MG overfarms, just looking to force the energy. I think we need like Gengar in the back at this point to win this battle. MG sends out Cacturne. Holy cow, that one Incinerate did like 60% of our health. We fire off the Trailblaze, which is resisted, but we'll pick up the knockout. Come on, show me Gengar, trainer. Back out comes Marowak. Marowak gets farmed down. No, that's also something we can beat. MG able to reach the boosted Dynamic Punch. I can't quite believe it, but we're going to emerge victorious. Whew, GG's. Heading into the next battle. Lycanroc. Well, that's pretty dreadful. As a rock type, being dreadful defensively, it does at least resist fire. Despite us having a grass type in the back, we're kind of forced to stay in this absolutely atrocious matchup, as our grass type would get absolutely deleted by this counter user. MG overfarms, looks to fire off the Weather Ball bait. Weather Ball forces the Protect Shield. You can see Lycanroc insanely glassy, so this next Weather Ball fire might actually secure a knockout. I guess we'll never know as the opponent goes all in on Lycanroc, 2 shielding it. We see the instant no shield from MG. MG hoping he can counter farm down before the next Psychic Fang is reached. Machamp gets the perfect farm down, leaves a whole heap of residual energy good to go. Out comes Victory Bell. Fight is usually pretty bad into grass types, but Stone Edge will be picking up the one-hit KO. Although we actually go for the undercharge and the snipe with Cacturne. I like that play a lot. Out comes Umbreon. A last resort would probably do a reasonable amount of damage, but this opponent's only thrown 4 snarls. This is only a Dark Pulse or Foul Play. Cacturne has found a move that we can actually tank reasonably well. We then return fire with the Dynamic Punch, despite not getting same type attack bonus. That is just how hard Cacturne hits. Able to nearly one-shot one of the bulkiest mon in the meta. We shield at the next Foul Play, resisted Sucker Punch farm down, and take that game. In the next battle, we found ourselves yet another core breaker. MG safe switches into Machamp, which is arguably our only way of getting rid of this thing, unless we get shields down and Dynamic Punch it to the face. We see the no shield deployed. That is a huge call. The Dragon Claw would have done a lot to the glassy Machamp. The opponent then send out Sceptile. MG looking for the kill shot. Fires off the Stone Edge. Boo, which goes shielded. However, Machamp still not done. Able to reach the cross chop. Cross chop won't be lethal. But the opponent actually opt to go all shields down. And we now seen it coming. That opens up the door for that Guzzlord to get Dynamic Punch to the face. MG sends out Ninetales. Ninetales going to be used as the damage sponge. The opponent doesn't farm up 2 potential Earthquakes. The Leaf Blade is an easy tank. The opponent then aggressively pivot back out into Guzzlord. With the Karate Chop damage, this Scorching Sands should leave him in the red health range. We're going to see MG go all in on Cacturne, looking to sweep the back line. Brutal Swing isn't lethal. We see the aggressive pivot into Cacturne. Cacturne gets the Sucker Punch farm down. MG, charge your phone. Out comes Machamp. Despite the opponent hitting for super effective, as long as the opponent doesn't make the catch, we are going to emerge victorious. We shield at the cross chop, pause a turn, wait for the Karate Chop animation to start. Trailblaze will be removing Machamp from the field of play. We're going to Sucker Punch farm down Sceptile and take that game. Another very well played game. GG's. In the next battle, we see the battle of the buff Fire Spin users. Wing Attack Charizard was one of my favourites. I might try out an Ultra League with Fire Spin and see if it's still got some play. The opponent fires off the Dragon Claw MG, then going to overfarm before firing off the Weather Ball Fire. This isn't a Shadow Charizard, but Charizard regardless, very glassy. You can see the Weather Ball gets the opponent into the red. MG actually looking to go for the one shield, Fire Spin farm all the way down and pick his alignment in the back. Ninetales does leave low, but with residual energy good to go, out comes Blastoise. I was almost certain I expected the counter swap into Venusaur and a full Kanto starter team, but the opponent sends out Clefable. Still from the Kanto region, but unfortunately not the full Kanto starter team I was hopeful to see. We fire off the Stone Edge on the CMP tie. The opponent fires off the Meteor Mash, securing the knockout. Back out comes Ninetales. Ninetales going to fire off the Weather Ball. Weather Ball goes unshielded. MG again going to fire off one Fire Spin and the next Weather Ball. This Weather Ball will be pressuring the knockout or the final shield. The opponent invests that final protection, will then pivot out into Cacturne. Cacturne going to be looking for the one shield, resisted, Sucker Punch farm down and hope to Trailblaze that Blastoise to the face. Out comes Blastoise. Blastoise going to be straight in and straight out. Get that Blastoise off my screen. The vamped up Sucker Punches are going to farm down Clefable and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Ninetales into Dragonair, the regular variant as well, which is quite rare to see. Most people opt for the Shadow for that oppressive Shadow Dragon Breath damage. MG switches out into Machamp, goes straight for the cross chop, forced to protect shield. The opponent then throws on alignment, giving us the free Karate Chop, and we're going to see the protect shield matched. The opponent then pivots out into Lantern. MG going for the harder hitting Stone Edge, looking to do maximum damage. Stone Edge, oh my god Machamp, you monster. That non-stab Stone Edge just did so much damage to this silly electric fish. MG now sends out Cacturne. Cacturne gets a very nice running start. Back out comes Dragonair. And we're going straight for the Trailblaze. This is resisted, but it does come with 100% chance to vamp up our attack. The opponent invests that final protection. Look for the Dragon Breath farm down, which we're unable to get. Out comes Swampert MG. This Swampert has a family, and they're now all going to be attending its funeral as it gets massively overkilled and one shot vanquished back to its Pokeball. GG's. In the next battle, we see Dusclops in the lead. We aggressively pivot into Cacturne. Trainer, you need to pivot. Holy, the opponent took far too much Sucker Punch damage with their very slow pivot. They had a very good answer for Cacturne in the form of Jumpluff, but you can see Cacturne, despite only hitting for resisted with our charge moves, able to get this Jumpluff down into around the 3rd health range. This now sets up a very nice farm down opportunity for our Ninetales. MG waits out his clock, sends out Ninetales. The opponent shows a poor game mechanic, so the correct play there from the opponent was one Fairy Wind and the charge move, which might have actually enabled them to make yet another aerial ace. MG not complaining, gets the farm down, out comes Clodsire. Oof, this looks like such a tough team to deal with. We fire off the Scorching Sands, forcing the protection. MG then tries his luck, making a Stone Edge catch. The catch didn't look the cleanest, however the opponent does indeed throw the Stone Edge. The opponent then opts to stay in, which is best case scenario, as that is going to enable Machamp to Stone Edge this Dusclops to the face. Dusclops isn't going to appreciate the damage. The opponent chooses to invest the final protection on the CMP tie. There is no shot. Has this opponent managed to find their lose con? Back out comes Ninetales. Ninetales gets the Fire Spin farm down. Back out comes Clodsire. Oh boy. I can't quite believe it, but I think this is a win. We fire off the Scorching Sands. No, get Poison Stung farm down. The opponent had very, very hard counters for our team, but played quite poorly. I'm not just being horrible, but that just kind of is how the game goes. It's why you need to be like kind of optimizing plays. Fast move timing is paramount, and being quick on your switches also enables you to shore up them type effective matches. Speaking of which, we've got a turn in events with MG this time, being the algorithm confirmed, leading Ninetales into Ferrothorn. The opponent safe switches into Azumarill. We answer with Cacturne. Out comes a Fire Spin Talonflame. Fire Spin has been buffed, but Incinerate still probably arguably the best quick move in the game. It's 4 damage for 4 energy. The opponent showed little respect to Cacturne, tanking the Dynamic Punch. Of course, that is resisted, but Cacturne doesn't care about type-ins, and we emerge victorious. In the next battle, we see Turtonator in the lead. This is not a bad match of a Ninetales whatsoever. Due to that Scorching Sands coverage, the opponent makes a very nice attempted Scorching Sand catch onto Azumarill, but MG holds energy and sends out Cacturne. This is one of the drawbacks with Cacturne. Even in a type advantage matchup, you're kind of obliged to invest shields with it. MG farms up to the double Trailblaze, knowing if the opponent shields the first one, the second one will be reached and we will win CMP. The opponent smartly opts not to invest the Protect Shield and send back out Turtonator. We go straight for the Dynamic Punch, looking to force our shield back. The opponent shows no respect. Cacturne absolutely going off. The opponent saving 2 Protect Shields for the Umbreon, which is running Feint Attack. Please don't do that. Run Snarl. Snarl is objectively better. We force our Protect Shield, then send out Machamp. MG says throw the Psychic if you've got it. The opponent says fine, I will. To my surprise, Machamp actually able to withstand the damage. Machamp doesn't tank too many super effective hits, but Umbreon hits like a wet noodle. We farm up to the double cross chop one, force the Protect Shield, and the second one will be picking up the knockout of MG, able to take that game. And that, unfortunately, is going to draw to a close today's showcase. Huge shout out to MG. I love shoutcasting his battles. He's a very disciplined player. Shows great knowledge of the game mechanics and great knowledge of the counts too. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new. Consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. Link to my battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching. And I'll see you all in the next one.